Good morning, students. Let us start with the second module on RSA. Okay, we are discussing about the public key cryptography and RSA concepts in module 2. The various RSA operations are: it will helps to generate a public key or private key pair, and it is a one-time operations unless the key which are generated are compromised. The steps in RSA operations are: initially choose the prime number P and Q. Okay, please have a sheet and pen with you so that you can calculate the values now. Okay, I am discussing the algorithm with respect to the RSA. Choose the prime values P and Q and calculate the n value, which is equal to P multiplied with Q. Okay, and again, which is a modulus and phi of n we will be calculating. So now once the value of n is computed, we are going to find the public key value and the private key value. So to find the public key, we have to choose the encryption key E such that when you find the GCD of the value E which you have chosen with the phi of n, the value of n we have computed in the first step. Now I will be finding the phi of n, and the value of GCD of E comma phi of n must be equal to 1. That means both E and phi of n must be co-prime values. Then only we will be getting GCD of E and phi of n as 1. Okay, so once it is found, once the value of E is found, we are going to generate the pair of E comma n, which is known as a public key, and these are the pair of integers. Then compute the decryption key, okay, which is known as D, which is obtained by E inverse mod phi of n, and D is called as the private key. Okay, and how to calculate the phi of n here? We have the formula, that is P minus 1 into Q minus 1. Okay, so procedure. So once we have these values with us, that is now I have the value of n, I have phi of n, then I have the public key, then the private key. Okay, so procedure for the encryption is, okay, that is to open the ciphertext Ci, I have the formula mi to the power E mod n. Here mi to the power E. E is what? Our public key. So what is this mi? Okay, so here if I consider the message m, so obviously we will be having the total length of the m, which is obtained as the magnitude of m. Now the message is split into multiple blocks, each of the size b, except possibly for the last block. For the last block, we may not get exactly the size b. So now the size of the last block is magnitude of m mod b. It is obtained by magnitude of m mod b. Okay, that is the total size of the message divided by the size of the each block, that is b. Whatever the remainder we have, that will be the size of the last block. So if the size of the last block is if different from 0, where I have the b is equal to ceiling function of log 2n, okay, that is, it is nothing but the number of bits used to represent n and is referred to as the key size b. Okay, so now for each block mi, we find the corresponding ciphertext ci. As for each block, we are going to compute the encryption. We are finding the ciphertext. Ci equals mi to the power e mod n. The e value is a public key which we have found. Similarly, the decryption. For the given block of ciphertext ci, for each block of the ciphertext, I will be decrypting to find the corresponding plain text. So mi equal to ci to the power d mod n. I am using here to the power d. So while encryption, I will make use of the public key, while decryption, I will be making use of the private key to obtain the message block. So now let us consider the example. I have p value is equal to 3 and q is equal to 11, and the given message m is 00111011, which is in binary value. Okay, so now for this I will compute what is the value of n, which is p into q. 3 into 11 I will get 33. Then phi of n, which is equal to p minus 1 into q minus 1, that is 2 into 10 is equal to 20. Now I am going to choose the public key e such that GCD of e comma phi of n equals to 1. I have to choose the value of e. I have phi of n which is 20. Okay, so now for example, if I choose the value of e is equal to 2, I will check whether 2 and 20 are co-prime. No, they are not co-prime because 20 is divisible by 2. So I will go for next value, e is equal to 3. So GCD of 3 comma 20, obviously it is equal to 1. 20 is not divisible by 3. They are both co-prime to each other. So I will choose e is equal to 3 now. That is my public key is 3. And to compute the decryption value, the formula is e to the power minus 1 mod phi of n. So d equals 3 inverse mod 20. That means now I need to find the value of 3 inverse. Okay, I will be getting it as 7. So this, while finding the inverse of a number, we have solved in the Chinese remainder theorem. Okay, that method I am using here. So that means if I have the value as 3, its inverse is represented as here e to the power minus 1, which should be equal to 1 mod 20. Okay, so here I am in the second step, I am multiplying it by the value 7, so that I will be getting the 21. That means here in the first step what happens, I have 3 e to the power minus 1 equals 1 mod 20. So when you divide 3, you will not be getting the remainder as 1. So when I will get the remainder as 1, when you divide a number by a 20, so if I have 21, so 21 divided by 20, I will be getting remainder as 1. So to get 21, I will be multiplying the second step with the value 7. So I will be getting 3 into 7 e to the power minus 1 equal to 7 mod 20. Now when you divide this 21 by the 20, you will be getting 1 into e inverse equals 7 mod 20. So the value of the 3 inverse, e to the power inverse is nothing but here 3 to the power minus 1, which is equal to 7. Okay, so like this I am getting the 3 inverse mod 20 is again 7. So my private key is 7 now. And I have the message. Now in these steps we have calculated the value of n, phi of n, e value and d value. Now we have available with all the values. Now the given message Okay, I am choosing let the block size is equal to 6. That is the key size. That is the minimum number of bits. Okay, in the given message. That is in the n value. So I have m as 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. I will be dividing this message into a block containing 6 bits because here we have chosen b is equal to 6. So block 1 will be the first 6 bits 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, that is message 1, and message 2 I am available with only remaining 2 bits. So to make it as a 6 bits I will be prepending with 4 zeros. I will be getting 0, 0, 0, 1, 1 is equal to m2. Okay, so now I have two blocks here, m1 and m2 for the given message m. Now how to find the encryption or the ciphertext? So we have the formula. We need to find two ciphertexts C1 and C2. C1 equals m1 to the power e mod n. So I have C1 equals here our m1 is what? This binary value is converted into the decimal value, that is 14. 14 to the power 3 mod n. Okay, the message, the sub messages which were in binary form were converted into decimal value. So on the decimal value we are computing the ciphertext. So m1 is 14. So 14 to the power e is 3 mod n. So 14 3 times 14 into 14 into 14 mod n is 33. And 14 into 14 is 196 into 14 mod 33. Now here while doing the encryption, okay, or decryption, we use the concept of reduction modulo. So what is this reduction modulo is? This reduction modulo may be done at one or more intermediate steps, which helps to maintain a bound on the size of the numbers involved. Okay, so my n value is 33 here. Okay, so now I have the value 196 here. So I will find the value which is nearest to 196. How to find the value nearest to 196 here? By using the n value. N is 33. So I will multiply n with some integer value to find the value nearest to 196. So 33 into 6 I will get it as 198, which is the very nearest value. Okay. So here I am applying 196 minus 33 into 6. That's a reduction modulo into 14 mod 33. This 14 is what we have in the previous step. Okay, as it is. So now for this value I will get minus 2 into 14 mod 33. So minus 28 mod 33. Okay, so the remainder will be 5. When you divide 28 by 33, and here this is minus 28, right? So that negative sign, okay, is our that is nothing but the value for 5. Okay, so 33 minus 28, we will be getting it as 5. Similarly for the for the m2 also I will do the encryption, that is m2 value is 3, encryption is 3 to the power 3 mod 33, here 27 mod 33. Here no need to apply any reduction modulo, okay, since it is lesser than 33 here. Okay, the value 27 is lesser than 33, so I will be getting C2 is 27 for the message 2. Now the decryption with respect to message 1 and message 2. Okay, so I have the ciphertext 1 and ciphertext 2. So how to do the decryption? So I have the formula m1 equals c1 to the power d mod n. So c1 is 5, that is what we have obtained here, 5 to the power 7 mod n. So 5 times 7 we have written here mod 33. So 25 into 25 into 25 into 5 mod 33. Okay, so here I have the value minus 8 into minus 8 into minus 8 into 5. How I got minus 8 here? Because I have applied the reduction modulo value. So that is for each value 25. I have 25 minus 33 into 1. Why I have applied reduction modulo here? Because 25 into 25, if you multiply, you will be getting again more value only. So here itself for each 25 I have applied a reduction modulo. Okay, so 25 minus my n value is 33. The nearest value to the 25 is 33 only. So 25 minus 33, okay, is minus 28. Similarly, for this 25 also minus 8. Sorry, minus 8. For this also minus 8. For this 25 also minus 8 into 5, which is obtained from the previous step, mod 33. Now, minus 8 into minus 8 is 64. Then minus 8 into 5 is minus 40 mod 33. So again apply the reduction modulo here. Find the value nearest to the 64, that is 66, which is obtained by 33 into 2. 64 minus 33 into 2 is 64 minus 66, which is again minus 2 here, and minus 40 written as it is, mod 33. So minus 2 into minus 40 is 80 mod 33. The value nearest to the 80 is 33 into 2, that is 66. Because if you multiply 33 by the 3, you will be getting 99. 80 minus 99, the difference will be more. So we have taken 80 minus 33 into 2, that is 66. 80 minus 66 is the remainder value 14. So this is what the message 1, 14. Okay, we got it back. Similarly, for the message 2 also, we will be doing the decryption by using the private key D. 27 to the power 7 mod 33. I have 27 7 times here, mod 33. Two 27s are multiplied, 729, 729, 729 into 27 mod 33. Again apply the reduction modulo. Okay, so 729 minus 726 you will get 33 into 22. So here I will be getting 3 into 3 into 3 into 27 mod 33. Okay, here from this step you can use either this method or this method. If you use this method, which is I written in the or, this will be smaller steps. So again here 27 into 27 is 729 in mod 33. So again reduction formula is applied here. Finally I will get 3 here. Okay, which is the message 2 corresponding to the ciphertext 27. Okay, so this is how encryption and decryption is done with the RSA. That is, the given message will be divided into different blocks. On the different blocks, okay, for each of the block encryption will be performed, and wherever necessary while doing the encryption or decryption, the reduction modulo is applied. And for each of the block, now I will be having the ciphertext. Each of the ciphertext will be decrypted using the private key D. That is the formula C to the power D mod 33. Okay, so this is the encryption and decryption procedure. Okay, so now let us see the performance with respect to the RSA. with respect to the time complexity. Okay, so for the encryption, both obviously encryption and decryption involves repeated multiplications modulo uh, n of n bit numbers, right? As we saw here in this example while solving, right? We have various multiplications involved while finding the ciphertext as well as plain text. Okay, so the encryption key is usually again a smaller integer, that is the e value, which is relative to the n, that is e must be co-prime to the n. So encryption involves a small constant number of modulo n multiplication, and the time complexity of encryption is big O of b square. B is nothing but the size of the each block, right? Similarly, for the decryption, it involves raising a bit number to the power of d, b bit number to the power of d. Means we are using a decryption key d here. So the Navy implementation of the decryption involves d number of multiplications. Since d is of the same order as n, complexity of decryption is big O of n into b square. So our question here is how we can speed up the RSA operation. Okay, so we have the procedure here, the square and multiply approach. This approach first computes the squares followed by the products. We can speed up the decryption of the ciphertext C by computing the ciphertext C square, C to the power 4, C to the power 8, etc. up to a maximum number of B terms. Now each element in a series is the square of the preceding element. Then we multiply the elements in this series whose positions correspond to the ones in the binary representation of the decryption key D. That is, each multiplication is a modulo n multiplication. So, the intermediate products are never more than b bits wide. Now, let us see an example. Okay, how to make use of the square and multiply. Okay, here we have the one small example which uses the square and multiply in RSA to speed up the multiplication operation in decryption. Right. So now let us assume our decryption key is 57. Decryption key is nothing but what? The D value, which is a private key. We have chosen it as 57. Okay. And I have ciphertext to the power 57 mod n to obtain the plain text. We are performing the decryption now here. So now we are computing the squares. The next step. That is, I have C value, that is C to the power 1, then C square mod n, C4 mod n, C8 mod n, C16 mod n, C to the power 32 mod n, etc. Okay, now let us see why we have ended with C to the power 32 next. Now, let us assume that is key value is what? We are going to express the decryption key 57 in binary. Our 57 in binary value is 111001. Okay, I hope all of you know to convert the decimal into binary value. Divide it by 2 and in each step find out what is the remainder value. Okay, and list the value from top to bottom. Right, so 57 binary representation is 111001. Now starting from the right side, I will consider the first bit as C to the power 1, second bit as C to the power 2 mod n. Like this, I will proceed up to the last bit, MSC bit of the value. Okay. So here this is 2, 4, 4 to the 8, 8 to the 16, 16 to the 32. How the this is how the power is increasing. Okay. C to the power 1. Then 1 into 2 is C square. Then 2 into 2 is 4. 4 into 2 is 2. 2 into 2, 2 into 4 is 8. 8 into 2 is 16. 16 into 2 is 32. Okay. That is, we are performing the square operation here. Okay. So for each bit of the key value, we have got this. Now, I will identify in which are all the positions 1 is present with respect to the key 57. Okay. So I have C here, then C to the power 8, then C to the power 16, then C to the power 32. Okay. Right. So obviously when you add all these powers, 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 1, okay, I will get it as C to the power 57 only. C to the power 57 mod n. That is, we are multiplying the terms corresponding to the 1 here. Okay. So what we did is we have chosen the D value 57. We represented that in the binary form. Then for each bit, we have represented the, okay, in the form of the ciphertext, that is C to the power 1, for the next bit C square, other next C4, etc. And among this I will choose the bit, okay, at which position the value is equal to 1. Okay. So that is, this is the concept of square and multiply, right? So that is, we perform the decryption using only 5 square operations and 3 multiplications. Okay. We have 5 square operations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3 multiplications, which is that is compared to the normal decryption procedure, compared to the 56 multiplications which we are doing without square and multiply. Okay. So in general, the decryption involves b minus 1 square operations and at most b minus 1 multiplication. At most b minus 1 multiplication. It cannot be more than that. It can be less than b minus 1 multiplication also, but it cannot be more than b minus 1 multiplication. Okay, that means here how many bits I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bits in this key. So it involves maximum b minus 1 square operations and at most b minus 1 multiplication. Each square and multiplication is followed by the reduction modulo n again. Okay. So while performing the multiplication here, again the reduction modulo will be applied as we discussed while solving the encryption and decryption process. Okay. So this is with respect to the decryption key with the usage of square and multiply. So this is one of the issue to speed up the RSA. The second issue is about the key size. That is, the choice of the key size represent a trade-off between the security and the performance. Okay. So a larger the key size provides the larger or the greater security. But what about the time of the encryption and decryption? It increases. As the key size increases, the process of encryption and decryption increases. So doubling the key size increases the time complexity for the encryption by roughly a factor of 4 and decryption by a factor of 8 according to the asymptotic notations. Okay, that is asymptotic notations means while doing the encryption, the time complexity is about what? Big O of B square. For decryption, it is big O of n into B square. Okay, these are the issues with respect to the speed of RSA. Next, let us see the software performance. Obviously, the Java programming language has a number of APIs of relevant cryptography algorithms. Okay, in APIs, we can find the procedure with respect to the key generation, encryption or decryption, message digest, and digital signature. And these are contained in a Java security package and its various other sub-packages. The Java also permits the import of the other classes created by the various third parties that implement cryptographic algorithms. For example, Bouncy Castle is an example for the third-party provider whose API is available for use in both Java and C++ programs. So here is one example what we find in Java APIs for RSA encryption and decryption. Okay, here they are making use of the key generator class. Okay, we are creating the object KPG, that is key generator, key pair generator, using the key pair generator class and the method of that get instance. Okay, for RSA and the BC. Okay, we have the plain text hello here. Okay, using this method, this is going to initialize, and here they are making use of plain text dot get bytes, means in terms of block they are dividing and storing that each of the for each of the block the ciphertext what they have done, they are storing it in an array. Similarly, here we are finding the decryption. From the array decrypt text, okay, they are fetching each of the ciphertext and doing the value. Okay, this get private key is for generating the private key D value. Similarly, kp.get public is to generate the E value, that is a public key. While doing the encryption, we need public key E. While doing the decryption, we need private key D value. Okay, so this is one example which is available in Java API for RSA encryption and decryption. This is a figure with respect to which the time, which shows the time to perform the encryption and decryption of a 60-byte integer for various key size. If you change key size, okay, what happens? So execution time on a Pentium 3.2 gigahertz machine with 512 MB RAM. Okay. Y axis time with respect to the time, x axis is with respect to the key size. Okay. At that particular point of time, if you change the key, how it will be. Okay. So now let us see the applications. Basically, the public key cryptography have various applications. Now let us see the usage of that. So we have message confidentiality. So obviously, to provide the message confidentiality, we will be doing the encryption, right? So again, we can make use of the cryptographic methods like public cryptography and secret key cryptography. If you make use of the public key cryptography, if suppose I have a user A who wants to communicate with the message B, is a confidential message. So with the public key encryption, A needs to use the B's public key. And this procedure is again computationally intensive and more expensive. Each entity must store only its private key securely. Okay, in the public key cryptography. Whereas in the secret key cryptography, with the secret key cryptography, both A and B need to share a secret between them. So here, each pair of the entities would have agreed upon a secret key, maybe using the offline mode. And they securely shares the secret key, that is one per entity it wishes to communicate with. Okay, so either using public key or secret key method, how does A obtains the public key, right? So again, one of the procedure it can use is digital certificate. This digital certificate is an authentic electronic document from which one can extract the public key of the B. So here, let us see an procedure here to combine the speed of the secret key cryptography and convenience of public key cryptography. Now, a session key is employed. It is used here. Okay, so with the usage of the session key, how to perform the operations. So here we are seeing here in the diagram. Okay, initially, so here we have with the usage of the session key, initially it chooses a fresh random number S as the secret key value. Okay, this is known as the session key. Okay, now using the session key, it is encrypting the message yum with the session key, that is encryption of yum with the usage of S. Then encrypt the session key with the recipient's public key. Now it is using the another party B is public key is used here to encrypt what? To encrypt the session key itself. Now, okay. Once the encryption of the message is done with the session key, now the session key is encrypted with the usage of the recipient's public key. And now what the sender A will do? It sends the encrypted message and the encrypted session key in the message. Okay, to the receiver. That is, we are seeing here it is sending the ES of yum, that is encrypted message with the session key, and the encrypted of the session key with the B's public key. Now at the receiver side, okay, the receiver, now he will uses his private key to decrypt the part of the message containing the encrypted session key. Okay, so now the session key was encrypted by the sender A and it was sent to the B. Now if the B wants to decrypt the message yum, he wants a session key now. So how the session key is obtained by the B? He will decrypt the encrypted session key. The session key was encrypted by whom? That is by the sender A with the usage of B's public key. So at the B side, B will make use of his private key to decrypt the encrypted session key. Okay, so he will first decrypt this encrypted session key with his private key to obtain the value of S. Now once the value of S is obtained, he will decrypt that, okay, message yum with the session key what he has obtained now to obtain the message yum. Okay, this is how the encryption and decryption is done with the usage of a session key. Okay, that is, the session key is used to encrypt or decrypt the remaining messages in that particular session. Okay, that is, the session keys are valid only for the duration of the session and it is destroyed afterwards. Okay, so this is with respect to the message confidentiality, how it is provided by the public key cryptography. Okay, because here obviously in a session with the usage of the session key also, A is making use of the public key value. Okay, this public key value to decrypt the session key value. and at the receiver side this decrypted session key was decrypted by this private key. Okay, so this is the public key encryption or decryption with the usage of a session key concept. Fine, to provide the message confidentiality. So one more application of the public key cryptography is message integrity and authentication. That is, public key cryptography can be used to generate digital signature that provides the message integrity and authentication together with non-repudiation. Okay. So these are the concepts. Today in class we discussed the concept of the RSA procedure and the steps to make use of the RSA procedure, to apply the RSA procedure, that is how to perform the encryption and decryption. So while performing the encryption, message will be divided into the block of the given size B. Then on each block, the encryption will be done using the formula CI equals mi to the power e mod n. That is where we are making use of the public key e here. E will be co-primed to the value n. And at the decryption again, each block of the ciphertext will be decrypted using the formula mi equals ci to the power d mod n. And we discussed one example, and also we saw how the reduction modulo is applied at the various steps of encryption and decryption process. Okay, that is which helps to maintain the bond on the size of the numbers involved. Then we discussed about the applications of the RSA, and before that the time complexity, the performance of the RSA with respect to the time complexity both at encryption and decryption, and to speed up the number of multiplications at the decryption time, we apply the method of square and multiply technique. And with respect to the key size, okay, as the key size increases, encryption and decryption also the time complexity involved increases. Then we discussed the software performance, okay, with respect to Java API, one example. Then the applications of the public key cryptography with respect to message confidentiality and the message integrity and authentication can also be provided with the usage of a digital signature. Okay. In next class, we discuss about practical issues. Okay. Now today, hello. Okay, students, I'll be taking the class